All right, what's up, hackers? Welcome to Attack on Tuesday. My name is Taggart, and tonight we are beginning a new project. We're kind of mixing up the format here. We're not going after a THM room. We're not going after a hack the box. We are building some malware tonight. So it's red team and a little bit of programming all mixed in one. So you are about to bear witness to the birth of a new project. Welcome. This all started when my good friend Husky was talking to me over the weekend and noticed that something funny happens with Notion. And if you're not familiar with Notion, it's an online note application, and it's cloud synced, right? There's a free tier, there's a paid tier, the way that all software works now. But it's a really, really nice tool for note-taking. I know that I use it, I enjoy it a lot. I know GoPro Sloyo uses it a lot. In fact, GoPro's the one who got me using Notion in the first place. So we're all kind of using this tool, and Husky was just playing around with it. Hey, Husky. The guest room is open if you want to hang out, but it's cool if not as well. Thank you for the resub, friend. So anyway, Husky noticed that if we're in Notion on the web, this works differently if you use the Electron app, but if you're on the web, oh, dope. Okay, so if you click on original, right, watch what happens in our URL here. So we get this Amazon AWS link. So it's stored the uploaded image or whatever resource it is. And Husky found out you can upload anything as long as you change the extension to an accepted extension. But what he found out was this link, right, which is a signed, it's a signed URL. It's how you use S3 to share resources. There's a tool to do this. You can do it through the AWS CLI. You can do it through APIs, things like that. But here's the thing that's interesting about this, other than the fact that you can share it. For one thing, let me do this in an incognito window. Definitely can still see it, right? Hey, Stoic. We're talking about Notion and how it works. So I want to just call this out, right? When I clicked on original, hey, yeah, that's right. So when I clicked on original, right, I got this S3 link. But the thing about this S3 link, it has this signature. As long as I have these credentials, and as long as I'm within the duration of the link, and as this thing is coded, it takes a while to get used to reading this S3 garbage. But basically, let me find the expires. Yeah, expires 86400. So basically, this link is valid for 24 hours. And it turns out that because if you have this link, you don't need to be authenticated to Notion, right? I haven't shared this content with anybody, but nonetheless, in an incognito window, I can still access the resource because the S3 bucket has given me this temporary link to it. So Husky got really, really excited about, So Husky got really excited about this because, first of all, two things. One, hosting on Notion, that's really, really easy. And then also, and Husky spoke to Notion about this, and they said it's a feature, not a bug. And here's the thing. Ain't nobody going to be filtering Amazon S3 bucket resources. You literally can't, right? Unless you're really, really careful with your detections. But you can't just shut down traffic to S3. So hosting your payload here, I mean, bad guys have been doing this forever, either on S3 or Google Drive or, even OneDrive. Like, that is a known tactic because it gets around so many filters, especially spam filters, right? Or suspicious email filters like Proofpoint or whatever, because they can't say, oh, S3 is suspicious. Everything is on S3. So being able to host arbitrary files on here, that is bad. But then that got me thinking, because I'd been toying around with the idea of the Notion API for a little bit. That got me thinking, what if you could have this downloaded agent? What if you started sending traffic back over a Notion channel? Here's kind of where I'm going with this. Imagine for a moment, let me close this. But yeah, imagine for a moment that you have an agent, right? A C2 agent, a dropper, whatever. You think of it like a Meterpreter, a Meterpreter drop or a Cobalt Strike beacon. Think of it like that. And then what if, as soon as it popped open, it created a new Notion page for you, the attacker? And that Notion page was the stream of input-output to the agent. So if you write a specially formatted block, a text block, and that gives it a command, it executes the command and then writes back a new text block with the output of the command after a given sleep or whatever. So it's all happening over the Notion API, which is of course HTTPS, and it looks like legit traffic because it's Notion. And there are a few other things I've been thinking about how to make this a little bit sneakier, but that's the basic idea, and I want to see how smooth that concept could be. So we have a project we've been playing with. We just opened up the repository. Husky and I are working on this, called OffensiveNotion. And so what I want to do is kind of just scratchpad out this idea in Python. The ultimate dropper is probably not going to be in Python because we want it to be compiled and avoid detection. So that's probably going to be Nim or Rust, most likely Nim. But for just to proof of concept this out, we're going to do this in Python. Everybody who is working on this is kind of conversant in Python. So let's play around with this and see what's up. The first thing to know is that the Notion API documentation is it's a little rough. You can check it out, but there are a lot of concepts inside the Notion API that takes some getting used to. The first is that Notion content is kind of divided into two categories: databases and pages. Those are like the two top level concepts. Databases in Notion, let me see if I can find an example of one. So databases in Notion would be like, I'm just going to use my desktop app if that's okay. Databases in Notion would be like, let me go to my streaming and projects view. So this is like my planning board for streaming. I'm happy to show this to you. There's nothing secret in here. But this is a database and it has multiple different views, right? Now, if I click on share here, it would give me a special kind of link. I'm not going to give that to you because I don't want you to have that ID. But but the idea is that this database is a specific kind of object. Now, pages look slightly different. And pages are what we're going to work with in this case. Those links aren't private after all. Yeah. So it actually turns out that those IDs are more private. And that was what I learned when I was playing with the API last night and what I figured out today. It turns out that even if you have that ID, if these objects, not the original, like the links that you found, Husky, through S3, those are available across the board. But the actual objects, the databases and pages, have to be shared even with the API integration explicitly in order for them to be accessible. So, for example, this C2 test page, right? If I click on share, I have shared it to this thing called Logger, which is my integration. If I remove this integration, if I remove this share, this can no longer be visible by the API. And I'll prove that right now. So I'm going to go to search. I'm using Postman. I've loaded up Notion's own Postman API spec in here just to play with it easily. So here I'm going to click on search, and the way that search works, it's really, really silly. It's like basically you can search for either pages or databases and you give it a query, and that's kind of like it. It is not a rich search filtered situation. It's like, tell me you're a tech startup without telling me you're a tech startup. This API is extraordinarily early days. But watch what happens when I hit send, and I've set up the API key and everything to work correctly. Okay, cool. So what I get back, I know this is a little tiny, but what I get back is data about my C2 test page, which is the one and only thing that I have shared with this integration. Now, let me knock off that share. Let me remove it. And then let me try to run that same thing again. Now you can see that I'm getting an empty list. So sure enough, these IDs of the objects inside of your Notion workspace are in fact private, certainly more so than the links to original source that we just saw with the picture and the S3 bucket link. So that's good news, but it also means that we have to account for it if we're going to use this thing as a C2 agent. So let me re-add logger here to this page. And what we want to do, let me just hit that send again to confirm. Yep, okay, so I'm getting that data back. I can see it. Awesome. So what I want to do is I want to learn how to add a sub page, because what I'm imagining is like for every agent that gets activated on every endpoint that I'm targeting, a child page is created here, right? So underneath C2 test, I would see like the host name of the target that I have the agent activated on. Does that make sense? And that's how I'm gonna make this work. To demonstrate Notion devs will go mad. Okay, I mean, this is, as far as I know, I mean, obviously it's malware, but we are not going to do crimes with this. This is a proof of concept, right? Yeah, I don't think they would be concerned because they don't understand what's about to happen yet, but that's fine. And as we go, I want you to think about what detections will look like. So think about what the blue team would be interested in doing to find this traffic. So let's go ahead and make a page. Let's look at the Postman pages stuff. Create a page. Okay, so create a page. If we look at the body of the request, it's kind of a lot here. So what we're going to do is change up a lot of this data. And can I make this any bigger? Let me see if I can make the text bigger. Font size 16. It's like in the... Okay, well that's bigger, even if the rest of it isn't. How's that for everybody? Can everybody see that? So we're gonna knock off most of this. Okay, we're gonna knock off most of this because I don't want to add complexity where we don't need it. So if we look at the Notion API spec about creating a page, it's actually pretty unclear because it gives you an example for a database parent, but it turns out you can actually have a page parent, and every page you create has to have a parent of one sort or another. By the way, I will say, like, this is a really good object lesson in reading APIs and how to interact with them. If you haven't done a lot of that, this is kind of how it works, especially REST APIs like this. You have to read the spec, you have to understand how the developers have conceived of their data, and you have to kind of get into that headspace and then work with that. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So we're going to do a page parent, which means when we give it a parent here, we give it a page ID. And we actually have to give it a type as well, I noticed. It's not documented super well until you start diving down into this. If we look at page object. Yeah, page parent. Yeah, see, if we look at page parent here, it tells you that if you want to do that, you have to give it a page parent ID or type page ID and then give it the page ID. So to do that, we're going to do parent, and in this case, we're going to do, hey, honeypots, type page ID, and then we do page ID. And if we go back to our search, we're just going to grab this ID here and use that for now. Okay. And then the properties are going to be kind of interesting if I remember how this works, right? It's like properties title. Yeah, title, text, content. Yep, it's so weird. Okay, so the first one was like title. And then we give it an array. And then each object has like text. And then content. And then from the API. And that looks right just to start. And then in addition, yeah. There we go. That looks better. So where's my indentation? There we go. That looks sane. All right, let's see if we got this right or wrong. Tasty Boy, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. I really appreciate that. All right, let's hit send. Where's my send button? Oh, good job, Postman. So we get back. We got a 400, and what was our error here? Error parsing JSON body. I did a stupid somewhere. Properties, title. Oh, I forgot a comma up here between page ID and there. Was that it? Yep, that was it. So look at that. You can see in real time that we get a new page generated from the API. So that's how we create a new page. Okay, Husky, are you seeing my vision now? Like how cool this could be? Okay. So that's how we create a page. And notice that when we create a page, we get the new ID back. Craft for the post from the agent on the fly. Exactly right. And because welcome, friend. This is what I was losing my mind over yesterday. So this ID, right? I think it's really nice of them to return the ID of the object created. Now, it's necessary for stuff like this, but also super handy in our less than savory implementation here. So this is weird. You almost never see the patch method, the HTTP patch method used. Let me magnify that just so you can see. Look, it's the patch method. It's not post, it's not get, it's not put. It's patch. Why? That's not even REST compliant, but whatever. They're using the patch method, and basically you can do update page properties, but there's also, if I go to blocks, append block children. And here's the part that's really cool about objects in Notion. Pages are also blocks, which obviously, right? Because look, this thing got appended here, it's a block. And so the page ID that we just got also works for append block children. And if we look at the body for this thing, it's like I have to give it the ID of the block that I'm appending to. So I'll just paste that ID in here. And then if I do heading 2, I don't want that though. I want just a paragraph. Yeah, let me knock off this object. And then again, like look at it's a little bit funky how overwrought their data model is for how you add text, but I assume there's a reason for it. But here, let me knock off this link. I don't need that. But I do want to say do I just want devil faces? I do. I just want devil faces. I also want to know how this handles emoji. So now we're going to go to the from the API page, right? if I hit send here, boom. So not only can I create a new page, I am able to create text. Yeah, exactly. So all we have to do is just kind of like integrate these API calls into whatever tool we're working with and get it to listen for new content. And by the way, to get new content, right? If I get page, oh no, I copied the devil, right? Let me go back to the create a page and copy that ID again. So if I go over to retrieve the page and get that ID, enjoy dinner, Husky, and I'll see you in a bit. So when I get the page back this way, look, all the stuff is in there and it's in order. Or it should be. Or no, I have to get the block children. I have to get the block children of the ID. Of the page. That's the deal. There it is. So if I get the block children, right, there's the text of it. So literally all I have to do is review those and get the last one to see like what the last instruction is. And I have all kinds of choices. I could make it an H2 to make it a command. I could italicize it if I want, right? Just say italic false or whatever I want to do. Or code false, I could make it that, right? Whatever I want to do to make it an instruction. But as soon as I do, right, then I can enter it in and then it will receive, the tool I'm writing will receive that. And then if it's a command, it will execute it, right? And then it can write back whatever the output is. All done via Notion's API. So, I mean, maybe you'll notice, oh, hey, there's a lot of DNS requests to notion.so. Maybe, or api.notion.com. Maybe you would notice that, but you'd have to know about it first. I love that I'm streaming against the Cyber Mentor. I know he's doing a thing right now, but whatever. We out here, we're making new C2 channels out of Notion. This is the real stuff right here. I'm not trying to disparage Heath. I'm just teasing. Okay, so this is the basic concept. Now we have to start implementing this thing in Python. So the first thing I want to do is get up my VS Code, and I've got my environment here. And I have my Notion API key inside of an environment variable. But I'm also gonna, just in case I need to, we'll see how this goes. I forgot to look up because it's been a minute since I had to do this. Variables. Nope. That's it. Environment variables. Environ. That's right. It's so weird. This is limitless potential. Trying to think of similar services like Notion. So, Tasty Boy, quick story about my previous life as an educator, right? Nobody can find, abuses for software like kids. Really, nobody. And ask any kid if they know how to get around the content filter for their school, and they'll tell you, yeah, we know. So, one of the things that I always had to fight when I was responsible for stuff was like when we implemented Google Docs, right? Google Docs immediately became a chat vector for kids. And they even figured out that Google Docs started monitoring the content of documents for like bad language and things like that. They did start doing that. And so what they did is start using the editing comments, which weren't getting monitored. And then also Google Docs, I don't know if it still does, but it used to have like a back channel chat, which also wasn't monitored. So like there were so many things in there. This was just for chat, of course, but it was getting around whatever. They were hacking, essentially. Hey, yo, Kaiser. All right, so os.environ. I just want to make sure that that's present. Yeah. Port get pass. If os.environ Notion API key. Notion API key equals get pass. And I'm just doing this mainly so you don't see it, right? I'm just trying to be OPSEC safe here on stream. But get pass is a great way to do this. And then else Notion API key equals. I do dearly wish that Python had a ternary operator. That's one thing I definitely miss in Python. So it would be like a ternary operator is like statement 1. This, and then like option A, otherwise B. I really wish that they had something like that. Unfortunately, not. So we've got this kind of kludgy if-else, but whatever. Okay. So we're getting the Notion API key. And then the first thing we want to do, we've done load the API key, done. Start comms by making a new page. So first thing we want to do is, and I kind of want to load this into its own function just because it's going to be messy. And this will likely become its own module or something later. Seriously? Socket and get hostname functionality. That's so weird. Why? Fine. I should fire up IPython in here to test stuff out. Import socket get hostname. That is the hostname. That is correct. Okay, so that's cool. Back to Python. Import socket. Hostname equals socket.get hostname. And URL equals api.notion.com/v1/pages. Yeah, that's right. And headers equals, and we're going to make a dictionary of headers because there are a few that we need to pass, right? First thing we need to send is content type, JSON. And then there's also for create a page, there's 3 headers, and the body has like get out of here. Okay. Notion version. There we go. I know you can see some of the content, the API key, but not the whole thing, so that's fine. Notion version is going to be 2021. Oh, interesting. That's actually a little old. If I look at the... Yeah, 2021 816 is what I have here, so I'll use that. 2016 and content type application.json. Cool. And authorization. Bearer, and I'm going to do that as a format string with the API key. Okay. And then we do r equals requests.post URL JSON equals... Oh, I forgot to actually make the dang page, huh? JSON equals, we'll put this in here for body, and headers equals headers. Okay. And then so the body is going to be like this. Back to our Postman example. We created a parent page ID. So this is going to be basically hard-coded. So I'll make that a global up here. I don't love that, but it is what it is. Because we definitely need that. We need parent. Oh, well. What a surprise. Hello, cultists. Good to see ya. Hello. Friends always, welcome. Welcome to the after show, the cooldown from Al's Tuesday stream. Somebody else, would it eventually be set per engagement? Yes. We're a nonprofit. How's it going? No one's made any musical requests. The after party? Exactly right. This is where things get really lit. So what are we doing? We are creating a C2 using Notion. The note-taking app. So basically, we have been playing with the Notion API, and we basically have this thought that we can create a straight-up C2 channel using a Notion page as the interaction vector. C-Top, Joker, It's Tiny Bubbles, Obito, Uchiha, Zombie, Aksu, and Brannick, thank you so much for the follows. C2 is command and control. So if you've ever heard about Cobalt Strike, and if you've heard about, Metasploit, these are PowerShell Empire, why am I blanking, Covenant. These are command and control frameworks. And what they do is they make the interaction between the infected host that an attacker or red teamer is targeting and the attacker much easier, right? It consolidates active agents. It allows you to interact with those targets in a really easy way. We're not writing it in Rust. Not Rust is my favorite language. No, we're prototyping this in Python, and then probably for the dropper it'll be Nim. I did think for a second about doing it in Rust, but since I am doing this with Husky, and possibly Joe, the mayor, we wanted kind of a lingua franca. So Python it is. Is this C3? Is that like Web 3? No, I think it's just still command and control. There's not another C in there. Just C2. There's a C3 to protect your C2. Decentralized command and control. Command and control via the blockchain. Let's make it way more complicated than it needs to be. So the parent has to be of type page ID, and the page ID has to be the parent page ID, which is just global for now. Okay, and then properties. Nim is the right language for offensive. I mean, sometimes it's not the only right language. Don't be partisan. Don't be tribalist. Are we gonna make the Tor version of C2 where the Rift Shell takes forever to get back? I mean, you can do. I'll tell you what. What we can do is I have my Notion page open in Brave. Oh wait, I'm not on Linux. I can't do that. In Brave and Linux, they just have a Tor version. Like you just open up a Tor window right from there. But yeah, so for folks who just stopped in, I just wanted to share what Husky found that got us all excited about Notion as a potential attack vector too. And you might have seen this if you follow Husky Hacks on Twitter at HuskyHacksMK. So what he found out, I don't think there's a book yet, but I'm sure it's coming. John Doe for Black Hat Nim. Your Windows Brave browser has Tor? Weird. Mine does not. Anyway, if I click on original here for this image that I've uploaded, I get this S3 link, which has 24 hours of access, but it also doesn't lock it down to any specific recipient. So if I go to an incognito window, I can get the image anyway, which is a little terrifying, right? And what Husky found out is that you can upload pretty much anything to Notion, and they'll just let you do it as long as it doesn't have like an exe or HTA extension. So if you name it a .txt or something else like that, yeah, you're fine. It'll definitely let you just do that. So, but then I got to thinking, okay, neat. What if we just use a Notion page as the C2 channel? And you can see I made this page from the API, and then this devil text was actually sent by the API too. Would a VBA file work? I don't know. I didn't. That was Husky's stuff. He's eating dinner right now. We can ask when he gets back. But so that, I don't know. Like that's kind of where he is with it. But I'm very interested. I've never made a C2 before, and I thought this was gonna be kind of a fun way to do it. So yeah, these devil emoji here were sent via the API to this page, which we can reproduce. Actually, where's append block children? Content, Rust greater than Nim. Where's my desktop application? There it is. Look at that. So I can send text to a page, no problem. And I have the ability to retrieve all of the blocks in a page as well via the API. So really, all I have to do is come up with some differentiator between input and output as the agent would see it. And then when it finds a new input block, right, when the last thing in the chain is an input block, it will run whatever that command is, produce the output, and send it back. That's it. So that's what we're working on. But the first thing that we have to do is create the page. And my idea is just create like a hostname based page as the child of the C2 test page, which is this ID here. Hey, OreoBite, thank you so much for the resubscription. Appreciate that. Okay, so we're following the tech. We're following the. Let's create a page. practical stego. Sar, get out of here. No stego. Where did I get the API? I got it from Notion. Developers.notion.com. This is what we're referencing. I mean, they let you do this. They want you to do this. I mean, not this exactly, but they want you to integrate with their API. So we're gonna, just maybe not in the way that they expected. Is it open source? No. The API is free to use, though, which was surprising. I didn't have to pay for a like a pro tier account, because Notion is freemium, right? There's a free tier, there's like a personal pro tier, and then there's like an enterprise or whatever. I didn't have to pay for any of that. The API is available to rando users. Oh, I missed some follows. I'm sorry about that. Crosssec, Dungeoneer, Not-So, Compendium, Momoboy, Toguko, and Sylvester. Also, Stady Geld. Thank you so much for the follows. Okay, so let me refocus here. I'm trying to just create this page, and I just need the title, really. Properties. Title. And again, this works so strangely. It's like text, and then... don't need the text. And then another layer down, content. And then that's going to be hostname. Finally. It will be interesting if the command are just emojis. I think most advanced next-gen will struggle to detect malicious traffic. Oh, Cybergomia, that's an interesting thought. True. I will say also, I mean, this thing's going to look like HTTPS traffic the whole time. Where the detection is going to be most easy is at the endpoint level, the agent. It is funny you mentioned that too, Cybergomia, because that's how my students used to obfuscate their chats. I had a 100,000 word list of like bad words and permutations in every language, right? And these kids then started using emoji instead of, you know, any word that they had encoded to speak ill of their peers. Middle schoolers, man. Okay, so this should create a new page. And I want to print r.content. Yeah, 200. It actually shouldn't be a 200. How about emoji C2? What is it with the bots in NIM? It's a little bit of an inside joke for this community, because we've written a lot of malware in NIM, and one of the creators of NIM wrote in the forum, right? Please do not write malware in NIM, and we just took it and ran with it. Yeah, so this should be a 201. By the way, it shouldn't be a 200 because we're creating something. Just a deviation from the REST spec here in terms of the API. Var status code equals 200. Then we're going to print the content. Actually, I'm printing the content either way. It doesn't really matter. It's perfect language for malware. Don't write malware in this language. I know. The best is, I mean, honestly, the creator of Wynim or Winim, really, they're the ones who are responsible for this whole situation. I mean, honestly, the most ergonomic implementation of the Windows API I have ever seen. And it's like, wait, you want us to not use that? All right. All right, looks good. Let's see if this works. I have too many things open. Offnote.py. I forgot to do. So it didn't read the... I set that as an environment variable, but I guess I didn't set it in the right place. But that's okay. So this should have... I shouldn't have done an if. I should have done a try. Oops. And wrong way. Accept. There we go. That handles the failure elegantly. What? Oh, get pass. It's from get pass. Import get pass. Printed a tiny the Parsons key. I want to see I want to see the Parsons effect, which is a corollary of the Streisand effect. I'm waiting for the report that school districts in Missouri are now suffering ransomware at higher rates because people are focusing on the poor web programming of educational institutions in that state. Enter API key, which I should have done with a colon and a space, but whatever, still works. Actually, it's going to bother me. Enter API key, okay. Let me just copy that over here. Ah, man. What went wrong? Oh, a typo is what went wrong. Cybergomier and Adrima, thank you so much for the follows. Body properties title should be defined, instead was undefined. Okay, but it wasn't. Let's see what if I did something different here. Properties, title. Oh, this should be a list. For whatever reason. Yeah. Because the reason why it's an array, by the way, is so you can give it text data, but you can also give it formatting data, and it doesn't really care what order it's in. That's why it's an array, or a list in Python's case. Okay. Yeah! Got him. Okay, so step 1 complete. We're able to create a page off of our C2 test parent page. And we get back the data, right? Including the ID, which is really what we want. We don't really care about the rest of it. We just care about the ID. That is hot. Okay. So now that we know that's working, what we want to do is we want to return the ID. And the thing with the r.json is the JSONify. It's a dictionary representation of the data when there is data there. So I should, just to make sure this works, I should just have if r.status code equals 200. Else print. Done screwed up. Not the most helpful for the moment, but I'm just trying to test this out. Method object is not subscriptable. It is a method. Did that make the page though? It did. I'll delete that. Hey, Husky. Guess what? We can make pages from Python now. And return ID. Let's be the same about that. So we got how to add modules and scripts and how they could be blocks that are loaded in an agent check-in. I had an idea about that too. They could absolutely be blocks that are loaded in agent check-in, or just definitions anywhere else. Like the agent itself doesn't have to contain anything, basically. Yeah. No, same page, as modular as possible. Yeah, because you can imagine something like, just to explain to other folks, are you planning on putting the modules payloads inside of images on AWS? I know you're just trolling me at this point, Sire. Stego. Lunatic. But yeah, basically what Husky and I are saying is that we can imagine like shell and then whatever the command is there, right? Whatever the command happens to be. And then, you know, who am I? And then whatever the command is here. So we could just create a document like this and get that loaded in as JSON on initialization. But for now, all right, create page is working. So you know what? Let me be good about my git commits here. And Husky, I have made a Taggart branch on the repo. And that way we can do proper pull requests and stuff. Okay. So we're creating this and we're getting the ID, page ID equals create page. And then, did I import time? I did not import time. I'm going to set sleep for 10 seconds for a reason, but next thing we need to do is basically while true. This is our main loop, right? Where we're going to receive blocks of data, and then we are going to look for commands, and then we're going to see if there's a command to be executed, right? So we're going to kind of call our shot here. We're going to say get blocks with the page ID. If new command blocks. So we're going to examine the blocks for a new command. Then we're going to run command. Ladies and gentlemen, the mayor is in the building. Good to see you, Joe. So we have successful API-based creation of a page here. And in Notion, right? These were created from the API. Odyssey is my host name. And so what we're doing now is we're writing it out so that it will pull the blocks from the page, look for commands, and run the command. Yeah. So we'll figure out how that works, whatever that is. Pass. We just have to implement some of these functions here. So get blocks is easy enough. A straight OS shell might be the best to start here. Yes, definitely. I'm pretty much going to do OS commands to start. Yes, agreed. Basic QMI net user. Yeah, exactly right. Nothing wild. And again, this is... I don't want to get too crazy here, because again, this is... The Python is the proof of concept. When we build the dropper, we're going to be doing it in a compiled language, right? So I don't want to put too much effort here into like building out the command logic when I'm just trying to POC the in-out from Notion. But it's going to bother me if I don't... That part to me once we start doing the Nim dev. You do have plenty of net experience with Nim. Although Nimbuster definitely cut my teeth for that as well. Leave some tool making for the rest of us, Joe. How many tools did you release last week? Was it 3? Was it 5? Was it 100? 3. Yeah, okay. Slow your roll, bud. No. No. I feel like it's weirder to have. /pages. Okay, so that was just me because I'm being weird about not repeating myself. I'm setting up the URL base up here so that I only have to put the API endpoint here at the end. Request.post, that looks good. We got that going. Now, pretty much just need the headers. In fact, I don't want to repeat that either. Thank you for doing the API key out of band. Yeah, well, I teach enough people about that in my day job that I felt like it was necessary to do that. So the way that I did that, there are two options. Either you load it as an environment variable or you get getPass to make it happen. Yeah, I'm going to make headers an argument here. Yep, there we go. Do I, wait, do I need to, yeah, I don't need to send the API key then, do I? Nope. That's better. Cool. Yeah. Because I know I'm going to have to be writing a lot of those requests, right? And so the headers are going to be the same across the board. No reason to repeat that construction. Just build it once and then pass it around to the functions that I need to pass it to. That's why I moved that down here. All right. So create page. A little refactoring. Never hurt anybody. But a lot can kill you. Get blocks. Headers. And so for get blocks, this actually isn't going to be that tricky. We do have to pass page ID, though, to the headers, comma, page ID. Starlink launch. Somebody get it. Knock it down. There are already too many of them. All right, so R equals dot. Oh, I need to build the URL. URL equals F. URL base slash. And what do we have for Notion? To get retrieve block children. Yeah. Blocks slash page ID. Are the results for the different type of blocks, code blocks, regular text blocks, headers distinguished in what the API returns? Yes, they are. Let's look at the API documentation for blocks. So block objects have the following types. And we kind of saw that when we got the when we made the paragraph block, right? There was text for it, and then type text, and then the text content. Imagine an agent command that can enum the entire file system and build a Notion page that mirrors the dir file tree. Oh my. Yeah, you know, the other thing I was thinking about is that we're doing this based on a page because it's a little bit easier, but think about the stuff you can do with a Notion database, right? because we have all these different, different kinds of databases with boards and lists and calendars and timelines, things like that. Hell, you could even do this for the blue team and have an agent like create an event timeline and turn it into like a Gantt chart or something like that, or a calendar. That would be weird. Okay. Refocusing. Hand the chart at the end of the op. Page ID, and do I need to do children? / children. Yes, I do. Children. Now, we haven't gotten to the pagination problem yet, but we will eventually. So we'll deal with that when we get there. The pagination basically just means that we'll have to do a loop to concatenate multiple requests. If we have greater than whatever the page size is. And the page size is like... Append block children. I want retrieve block children. And yeah, the largest we can do is 100. So once we get over 100 blocks, we would have to cycle the pagination to make that happen. But for now, get URL if r.status code. It's 200 r.json, and it should have results. Yes. Results. Otherwise, return none. This is the way that I usually do kind of a poor man's option or result in Python, where I'll base it, this will evaluate to true basically, and this won't. So what I do here is I do a check to see if something is true based on the fact that I've got the return value. And that's the way that I kind of re-implement the option or result type that I'm a big fan of in Rust, or the maybe type in Haskell, which I'm also a big fan of. Right, so again, we actually have that here. Blocks equals get blocks page ID. So if blocks, and we'll do if new command blocks. So now we just need to implement new command. And the way that we do that is we need to decide how we're going to identify command blocks. I think the easiest way is to do them as like a heading or a code syntax. Yeah, although that's not one of the block types. But you could also format it as code. Like either you do it by the formatting, because you can see that's in like the annotations here for the text type. So I don't disagree with you. That's one of the commands. But I think what that does is it creates a paragraph type that has the code formatting. Husky. Because I'm looking at the block types here and I'm not seeing code. No, it was a good point. Like that was kind of my thought on it too. The trick is just like, how are we going to identify it? And that's fine. Like we can do code. The reason there was one thing though I was thinking about, like why might we not want to do it as code embed? Because that was something I was thinking about this morning. What if we wanted a lot of output? We might want the output from the agent to be code in or code formatted, in which case we don't want that to be our key for the command. But something we would almost never do, I think, is do like a heading. Or we could do a to-do. Input as code, out as plain. I mean, that works too. So, to-do. What does that even look like? I kind of want to do that, right? Checked false. Yeah, I think we have to do it that way. All right. So, new command. So basically we'll do, we have get blocks, that's fine. So here, def new command, blocks. Return blocks. Last one. This is really just, it's like a utility function. Type equals to do. Is the goal here to let you control the agent directly from the web browser, or will the command scheduled by a server app? It's to, we could do either one, honestly, because we could interact the other way with the page through a server app. But no, it's to control it from Notion in the web browser or in the desktop application. Okay, so if new command, command equals blocks. We're talking about having documentation. Let's hear it as its absolute logical extreme. Because if you have a server app, why not simply, my favorite construction of a question, why not simply use it as a tunnel where the server schedules command? Because I want to interact with the thing. As a tunnel where the server schedules encrypted command, the agent just sends back the response to that. Because if I'm on an engagement, I want to be able to interact with the agent in real time. There's a time and place for automation. This is not necessarily, that's not the be all and end all of what I want to do with this, though. I like the idea of being able to schedule jobs with it, though. That's not the worst idea. Yeah, I mean, let's think in yes and, not no but. This is just a structural question. I'm thinking, like, do I want new command to return the block itself? I don't think I do, because I already have the blocks. Yeah, so command equals, maybe do schedule stuff to do list. But Husky, what are you talking about? We have a calendar. We could do it with a calendar or a Gantt chart. And what we want to do is we want to get the text content out of there. And we're just going to print the command for right now. Okay. And time dot. Do I need anything but sleep? No. So from time import sleep. That's better. And then we will sleep, whatever the. Well, let's be more verbose. Sleep interval. We will sleep for whatever the sleep interval is. That'll also give us time to actually write the dang command. Blocks. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's gotta be else. Is this right? Okay, so what should happen... I'm going to delete this page. So what should happen is a new page should get created. Yeah. Can I zoom in the whole application? I can. Wonderful. A new page should get created, and then I should start seeing Z's until I enter a to-do on the page. In which case, I should start seeing the command get printed out. Now, I still have to write a block back, so it stops being a to-do. But I think that's a good starting point for this. You know, you can add the node emoji. Wait, can we create a page with an emoji header as a data field? Oh, actually, yes, you can. Let me go to the page object. There was a whole thing on that. Yeah, there's an icon field. You can actually do that. Would you like me to add an icon field to the way that we're creating this, Husky? Okay, you got it. You got it, buddy. Create page, properties title. Icon. I think that's how it will be, right? It's at that level. Oh no, it's actually outside of properties. Wild. Okay. Okay. Let's see what happens. GetBlocks is missing one required positional argument. Of course it is. GetBlocks page ID headers. Okay. Okay, obviously I need to see the error message. instead of you done screwed up. Where to put that? I think these... I'm wondering if there's an API rate limit. Body parent database ID should be defined. Instead, it was undefined. That's not a thing that we need. Let me knock off the icon for a second, because I think that might be a problem. Hold on. Page object. Property values conform to the schema layout. Database property. Oh, this is the only property. Oh, yeah. The only property value is the title. Properties of the database this belongs to. Maybe the icon does belong inside the properties, which made more sense. Body.properties icon should not be present. I think it's annoyed about the icon. Let me just knock that off for a second. Huh. That's weird. Did I make a weird logical mistake here? Create page. No. I'm gonna make sure that page ID is getting created. It is. Oh my god. My app wasn't updating. We had it the whole time. Not with the icon. The icon was a problem still. But these others... let's try it one more time. There's Odyssey. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Next. Okay, but hey, you know, getting somewhere. Oh, that killed it. Okay, so it doesn't have any blocks yet, which makes sense. Shouldn't have put that there. Should not have put that there. If blocks, print blocks. That's how we should have done that. Now, I wonder if we're ever going to see that happen. Okay. Saving. Oh, I think I might know why this is happening. At least I have a theory. Retrieve block children require. It doesn't need a page size though, or it shouldn't. Let's print out what the request is actually getting back out. You know what I mean? Let's get blocks. Yeah, we're not seeing blocks at all. Unauthorized API token is invalid. Whoa. Oh, of course that's true. Of course that's true. Or actually, I don't know about of course. No, that's weird. Because Logger naturally, like, it should have it. I was thinking somehow the page didn't get shared with it, but obviously it did. I thought maybe somehow the page could get created and then it wasn't shared, but no, it's there. So, like, okay. Oh my god. Oh, Taggart, you idiot. Headers equals headers. Okay. Let's clear out some of these print statements that we probably don't need anymore. Yikes. Okay. Well, that was a good. Okay, let's see. To do. So we got something back. To do. Now this is just about parsing the JSON. So type to do, then it's in to do text content. It's in there. I just need to get to it. So block. It's like to do text zero oh my god, look at the structure of this thing. Text content. Okay, yikes, that is ugly enough that I'm gonna write a little helper for that too. Orbital redeem play you a song. Okay. Whew. I was like in the zone. We can do that. Let me get the stuff set up. Gotta like. Let's see how this goes. All right. That'll work. Commit the code first. Good idea. Block retrieval. Okay. So I was practicing this song earlier today, and I don't know, it's not like the happiest song, but we'll go for it. Let me mute Night Ride here. And wait, that just that. Try that again. There we go. And piano is hot.
Testing 1, 2. Can I get a sound check from the chat? I'm not actually playing piano. All right. Stunning 8K resolution meditation in honor of the revolution. It's half off at the Gap. Deadpool self-awareness, loving parents, harmless fun. The backlash to the backlash to the thing that's just begun. There it is again, that funny feeling, that funny feeling. There it is again, that funny feeling, that funny feeling. The Surgeon General's pop-up shop, Robert Iger's face. Discount at the agitprop, the bugles take on race. Female Colonel Sanders, easy answer, Civil War. The whole world at your fingertips, the ocean at your door. Live action Lion King, the Pepsi halftime show. 20,000 years of this, 7 more to go. Carpool karaoke, Steve Aoki, Logan Paul. A gift shop at the gun range, a mass shooting at the mall. There it is again, that funny feeling, that funny feeling. There it is again, that funny feeling, that funny feeling. Reading Pornhub's terms of service, going for a drive, and obeying all the traffic laws in Grand Theft Auto 5. Full of agoraphobic, losing focus, cover blown. A book on getting better, hand delivered by a drone. Total disassociation, fully out your mind. Googling derealization, hating what you find. That unapparent summer air in early fall. The quiet comprehending of the ending of it all. There it is again, that funny feeling, that funny feeling. There it is again, that funny feeling, that funny feeling. Hey, what can you say? We were overdue, but it'll be over soon. You wait. Hey, what can you say? We were overdue, but it'll be over soon. Just wait, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-da-da. Hey, what can you say? We were overdue, but it'll be over soon. You wait. Hey, what can you say? We were overdue, but it'll be over soon. You wait.
All right, not bad for like one day. This is a Billy Joel stream. All right. What were we doing? We were writing some Python. Should learn lyrics to Hassan Abi's theme song and submit it to him. I guess I would have to. All right. Alrighty. Let's see. Did I miss anything? No. Okay. So we are... oh, we're going to see if we can extract that command properly, is where we are, I think. I did turn the mic back on. Yes, I did. Okay. I was like, just making sure. So yeah, the Bo Burnham special messed me up. I don't know if you've watched it. Bo Burnham's Inside. Like, I'm glad I watched it, but man, I had to sit with it for a while. All right, page created. To do. Who am I? Now I want to know if I have to press enter. Bezos 1 and 2 slap. They totally do. Hey, hey, hey! Got him. There's a print in there somewhere that I don't need. That. Okay. So now we just have to commit the data back. For this, we're going to need import subprocess. And if you have been doing like Python start process stuff for a minute, you might not be super familiar with subprocess. I think it was like Python 3, I want to say 3.8, that they changed the API for subprocess. And they actually made it super handy. Let's look at subprocess. It's been around for a minute, but what they added to subprocess was capture output. So this wasn't there before. You used to have to do like a standard in like pipe or whatever. It was a pain to get standard out and standard error from but with capture output now you can just have it. Yeah, but you have to give it that capture output and then it becomes part of the completed process, which is exactly what we are going to do. So the command is actually not just going to be the extract command, because what we're going to do is going to be .split on a space to get it to be a list, and then output equals subprocess .run command capture output equals true, and then we're going to do send result output dot std out. Send result. So to send a result, we're just creating a block on that same page, right? So that's going to mean we're going to give it headers, page ID, and the output dot standard out. Yeah. headers, page ID, and so same deal like what we did before, URL equals. The utility of having input and output into blocks that can be exported to Markdown PDF is dawning on me. Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah. Like, the more I think about this, the more I actually would want to use this for real. Like, how much handier would it be? Oh my god. The other thing that just dawned on me, live your life, by the way, but it's like, it's like the voice chat's right there for you. It's just dawning on me how cool it will be to be able to access the same Notion page from anywhere. You could access it on your phone. You could access it in the web browser from any computer, right? And you would have access to that C2 agent. Incredible. So URL base slash oh, right, back here. So here we're doing patch, right? Append block children. So weird. V1 blocks ID. So it's the page ID slash children. And we're gonna append a how did I do it with create page? So we're gonna do body. And what we have to send it is children. Okay, so children, please. Nope. Children, and then we give it single thing. Object. Come on. So if we want to do it code formatted, basically what we do is we do object block and then type paragraph, and then paragraph, and then we give it text. And then I think if I have this right, basically what we do is we do like type text and then text. So weird. Content. Oh, no. That's inside of a dict as well. That one feels unnecessary to me, but whatever. Content is going to be the output. And now I want to look at the documentation for the annotations to get it to be code formatted.
On that fateful day, we are giving you all the evidence based only on the secret testimony of the miserable souls.
Yeah, so text and then annotations.
The incidents, the places,
like that.
my friend, we cannot
Annotations, bold, false, bold, false.
Let us punish
Do I have to give it all of them?
Let us reward the innocent. My friend, can your heart stand the shocking facts? The mysterious. The
Rich text objects. Talk to me about rich text objects.
That is why you are here.
All annotations that apply. Annotations include colors, bold, italic, strike through.
Can your
Style
heart
information.
stand the shocking facts?
Code, whether this text is code style. So I don't think I have to give it all of them. I think
That is why
I can give it just one of them, annotations code true, and that should do it. So type text. And yeah, annotations, code, true. Look at that indentation. But that's what we need to make it clean. Okay. And then we do r equals request dot patch URL headers equals headers, JSON equals body. I'm into this song. Flash cassette. Cool. And then r.status code not equal 200. We'll print r.body or r.content just in case something goes wrong. Is that it? Are we there? Let's see here. Give it a shot. Page created. Invalid request URL. All right, I screwed up something. Let's find out what. Blocks, page ID. Blocks, page ID. Send result, headers, page ID. That looks right. Yeah, we're close. Invalid request URL. Oh man, I think I ran into this when I was testing it. Close this. There's the patch here. Pen blocks children. Children block paragraph and text. One blocks. Request.patch. Huh. The request URL is invalid. That's so weird. Children. Oh, wait a second. Blocks / page ID. Staring right at it. There we go. That's it. That's it. Okay. Page created. Make a to-do. No enter required, apparently, by the way, because it was reading the block. Yes! We got it. Let's see what this does. It's so good. All right, you ready for the coup de grace? Hey, let me pipe you through here. I can, but the chat can't yet. Now they can. Can we get a sound check on Husky Hacks?
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, you're muted.
I'm muted?
He's muted.
I'm muted? I'm on stream. Oh, wait a second. That's right, my bad. Sorry.
There he is.
There we go. I had to unmute it in 2 places. Welcome, Husky. Special guest.
I just wanted to let you like drive the ship tonight because like this is I'm surprised you can roll out of bed in the morning because your doctor must be like you can't do any more heavy lifting so you can't pick your head up off the pillow. Like this is insane, man. But I wanted to show me the coup de grace. Oh, pop calc. Did you already do it?
I did pop calc. So good.
Oh my god. I'm just like there are so many places we could take this now. Oh man.
I mean, it's well, so we actually have to check the box. There's one thing we have to modify the previous block.
We do indeed need to make sure that task is done and the box is checked.
But other than that, I mean, I think there's lots more to do. Again, this is like easy mode because we're doing it with a page rather than a database. The stuff you can do with a database with like a calendar and all that stuff is absolutely absurd. Like if we go to the create a database stuff, the API for this is crazy. All the things we can do in there, like inventories, honestly, not like it wouldn't be the worst thing as a blue team tool to do like a software inventory or whatever.
Yeah.
Like imagine if OS query wasn't a nightmare to work with.
Man.
But
I'm just like, yeah, my head is like spinning right now. Like there's so many cool things that we could do with this. So I'm excited.
I know I've missed some follows. Cody101, Matt Bogenberger, Sidtrack, NWO Freeze. Thank you so much for the follows. But yeah, so we're there pretty much. And then so the next step, at least for me, is to turn this into, a compilable payload.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Rather, Python's great for prototyping, but if we wanted to drop this on something and see what happens. And I really want to know what this looks like from the blue team side. I don't think it looks like much. Yeah,
Yeah, the compiled executable portion of this, I think now that we have the proof of concept, like the high level flow of the program down is going to be very straightforward. I mean, there are the libraries in NIM that do each of those parts that we can rely on. So
let me tell you one idea I did have.
Yeah.
Which was to write an Electron app, which was the Notion client, but also was doing this. So it looked like Notion, and it looked like it was making calls. So even the application, like, yeah, it's making calls out to the Notion API. Like, why not?
Yep. I was thinking if you just call it Notion.exe, like you might even get mileage out of just that, and then that would take it to the next level. Yeah.
I mean, if I saw Notion.exe and I got like an alert, I was like, oh yeah, it's calling out to the Notion API. I wouldn't go on the endpoint for that.
Yeah, for sure. Like, oh, wait. So you're telling me that this Notion.exe process is making requests to the Notion API and S3 AWS? Like, yeah, it would shut. I'd shut it down there. I'd be like, that's nothing.
It's actually a good
nothing
point.
of note.
See, get process, find stir, Notion. Is it in there? What's it called?
I mean, when I open up my
yes, it is. It's called Notion.
There it is.
All right, nice.
Yeah, it's actually, there are a ton of them too. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 running processes under Notion.exe. Now it does have the little icon. Ours would not have the icon unless we got fancy with it and did like what do you call it? Like process hacker, or replace the icon in one of those files.
You can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that honestly was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding, man. Wow.
Now I'm curious.
Phenomenal work.
It's a PE thing. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can break it open in Resource Hacker, I think.
Yeah. All right. So if you block children, update a block. Okay. So.
Right. So my idea was, okay, so like there are a couple of things that we can implement here. The ability to tell if a page, so like agent check-in spawns a page. The ability to tell that page already exists, and then the ability to tell that the blocks that have already been, this is going to be easy. The to-do blocks, once they get checked, are no longer in the evaluation of the agent. So all you have to do is complete the command, check the box, and then any new ones that are added are unchecked to-do boxes. Yeah. But any, oh my god.
Well, they're also the last one. I mean, the sequencing of them makes it easy too.
Yep.
But I was thinking, so like the way that we would do this to actually check the boxes, because we have the command, right? And we actually don't want, so like command, we're extracting the command from it, but this block, this last block here, that's the block ID that we need to update. And like, I think that's kind of it, is we would just update that block. So we say, what is it? Object ID, and we change it to do, we change all of it. Oh, actually,
checked equals true.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
That's it.
Okay, I want to implement this, and I think that's what we're gonna do for the rest of the night. That'll be it.
Nice.
Because
we can do a checked, if checked is false, then assess and run the command. Like that doesn't seem too bad.
No,
right?
I mean, you can do that, and that would also be for like an async kind of situation too.
Yep.
Because right now it's just like whatever the last command is, we're gonna run it.
Yep.
Because the trick is, this thing is making a new block, right? So once this thing makes a new block, the last block is definitionally not a command.
Yes, good point. Yes, thank you. As long as you don't get in there and mess it up before. Well, no, not even. I mean. Yeah, okay, I got you. I'm following.
Yeah. Bugrito, do you have a set of instructions to implement this? I mean, I just made 2 hours of video. That's what the instructions are. That's what we're doing. I do this
do you need them in text format,
I don't
or
have to record it. But no, like at some point, I don't know how the rest of the collaborators in this project feel about it, but we can open source the code at some point.
Oh, we are absolutely going to open source this. It's in a private repo right now, just as we get the scaffolding together to even make this a thing in the first place.
Yeah.
Because like nobody wants to see like a README repo that's like under construction, like coming soon, and a bunch of code that doesn't work. But once we get all the bones up and running, like we're gonna open source this. There's absolutely no reason why we wouldn't.
But Greedo's like,
It's too much fun. It's
know.
too much fun not to open source this.
But Greedo's like, okay, I have to watch from the beginning. Yeah, that's how videos work. You do. You have to watch it from the beginning.
I'll tell you what, though, the benefit, and sometimes I do this if I've missed a stream, I just crank it up to 2x, and Taggart is like, it's like he, like, you know,
very
took
caffeinated.
seven shots of espresso, and is just rolling on it.
That's the way to do it.
All right, check boxes. Here we go.
So, I want to write a function. Of course I do. And I want to put it, put it here. So I do want to do def update, update block. I'm going to give it headers, of course, block, maybe let's be more explicit than update block. Let's say like complete command.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it. So we'll do the URL is going to be URL base. I'm really glad I did that. I didn't want to write that URL that many times.
Yep.
/blocks/
I was thinking that like the API key is going to be embedded in the binary.
So I had a thought about that. All you would have to do you could do this with Notion. You could host it with like an AWS, host the key in a bucket and have it retrieve it.
Oh my god.
from the bucket or wherever else you want it, right? But you could just have it call out to that S3 thing, get the API key from there.
Dynamically add it to the rest of the functions that we're running to update and pull from the site. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pulling on the same tactic that I used for the NIM injector to get the Cobalt Strike stuff working. It's just like
right. Yes.
Host everything, embed nothing.
Yep.
So blocks, and then the block itself has to have an ID, right? So that should work. Block D. And yeah, do I have to do anything else? I think what I want to do, since I have the block, command block equals blocks -1. I'm going to save that as a variable here so I don't have to do that too much. Command block. And that way, I can do this. I can say command block to do text, or no, to do checked, because that's how that works. To do checked equals true. And then send result, and then complete command, right? Yeah, complete command, headers, block. Command block.
And that's in the new command after the command's been extracted and run.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Makes sense. And then the results get sent. Okay.
So maybe we'll do like an if output, right? Or if output dot standard out. So we'll send the result either way. Oh, actually,
do you?
I'm thinking standard error versus standard out.
Yeah, I was about to say, would you not want standard error if that were to be the case?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think you would want that too.
Is my logic on that right? Yeah, because if they're standard out, we'll be able to do that.
else, send the standard error. Yeah, we should be okay with that.
I was debating whether to do the conditional on the standard error versus the standard out. But if there is standard output, I want it, regardless if there's standard error.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. Then the command blocks ID. We didn't finish this. Because the block has been modified before it's passed to this function, so we don't have to do any of that. R equals quest dot, what is it? Update a block. Patch. Of course it is. Why? What is their thing with patch? URL headers equals headers.
The patch method. I love it.
Equals, block.
When you give the DEF CON talk on this someday, you will absolutely be harping on that fact, that little detail, and just be like, not for nothing, Notion HQ, what the hell were you guys thinking?
It's not the first, non-REST compliant API that I've tangled with, but this one is pretty weird.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do the same thing just as a safety. If r.statuscode is not equal to 200, which, by the way, it should not be 200. It should be 203, right? No.
For the successful return of a patch?
For, yeah, like an update, basically.
For an update, okay.
200 created, accepted, no content, partial content, no. Huh.
Maybe we could just try. Well, I guess we won't know if it's correct or not, but maybe we could just try it and then print our status code and see what it is.
It should be. I mean, no, we know what it is. It's the documentation tells us it's going to be a 200.
Okay.
My point was that it's supposed to be a 201.
Oh, okay.
That's all. That they're not playing by the rules.
Yeah, good point. It's created versus just okay. Oh, all right.
Okay, so and then we'll print r.content. Great. I think this has it. So we'll knock off. Wait, is this still running? Yes. Okay. So
it's a C2 agent, man. What did you expect?
It's extremely persistent. Who actually knows all the status codes? Let's be real, though. I hope that the architects of an API know the difference between 200 and 201, Teal King. That's my
we can Google it to get in compliance with how the API wants it to be called, but like the person who designed the thing in the first place should have Googled it, I guess.
Okay. New page.
This is actually this is an example of what's known as a second person API, which is I wish they had a second person look at it before they went live with it.
Okay, so I've got who am I waiting. It got checked.
Oh. Oh my god. It's the little things, man. It's the little things.
It really is.
I'm absolutely speechless, and
oh, that's too much fun.
No, okay. Jupyter Notebook style. Throw me a text descriptor in a block below that says the command we just ran was ls -al, and that listed out the file system, and then put another to do after that and make sure that it doesn't conflict. You know what I mean? So like documentation style.
Yep. I don't want calc.exe. Now see conflict. I couldn't do a thing. So for that one, I need to do.
Oh yeah, so it checked even though you didn't get a. Interesting. Okay.
So that's because. Yeah. So we did find
range. Oh,
because it got checked.
Yes, it got checked, but there was nothing there.
Right. So that killed it. Interesting. That's jitter callback time. Yeah, agreed, Joe. I have it set to 10 seconds, but that might be aggressive. Because that's like my typing speed, right?
Well, like, all right, so if you are in the middle of typing a command in a Cobalt Strike beacon, when that thing checks back in with you, you don't have to worry about. Okay. But there's no like enter capability, so I don't know how we'd pull this off. One command block at the top of the, almost like it's a straight up command prompt interpreter. One command prompt block at the top of the page, and the rest are jobs that are carried out by those commands.
I mean, maybe. I kind of liked Czar's idea of putting an end delimiter on there.
Okay, well, that works too.
With like a, because that'll let you know that the command is done. You know what I mean? But the other thing is that could have been handled more gracefully. Just oh, Joe's coming in. Cool.
Oh, all right. Dev team assemble.
The other thing is we could handle that more gracefully, right? Because in here we're doing like a try and accept. Because here it was like return block list index out of range.
It should not just die, I guess, is the important part of that.
So it died at 118. Well, really.
Hola.
Hey, Joe.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Hey, so what I had, it's hard to say it in chat, but one of the things you could do is just simply use a different symbol. And when it calls back, if symbol exists, then run command, else wait.
Agreed.
Or else pass.
Yeah.
And that's how a team server would work. That's how your regular payloads would work. And for me, that would be the most legitimate way to do it here, is just simply have a check there instead.
You mean at the end of the command, right?
No, so when it calls to check for the API, it's checking for a specific symbol. If symbol exists, run the command that's there, just like you have it.
That's kind of what we're doing. In that it's searching for
the to-do block.
Yeah. The issue here, Joe, was that it ran two things happened. One, it attempted to run a command before I was finished typing, because it upped the Notion page updated too quickly. So
that's what
incomplete.
That's what I'm saying. Put a symbol mark there. Check for symbol. If you haven't clicked that symbol yet, it's not going to run anything.
But that's kind of why I'm saying, like, put it at the end or at the beginning.
I mean, it doesn't matter where it's at. Just in that next block, if that symbol doesn't exist yet, it's not going to run it until it does. You can put it wherever you'd like, but
so like so we have here like LSAL, and you imagine like a like a target or something like that.
Sure.
And it looks like that, and it runs it when we're ready. Yeah,
correct.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
Check for symbol. If symbol exists, run command, else pass, and then it'll run, or it'll check again on its next, timer, or on its next loop.
I'm
arming the command.
That's what Cobalt Strike is doing, except it's just checking back every 60 seconds or whatever for that command execution.
Right.
So, that's all you're doing here. You're giving it basically a light on the porch that says, "Hey, I'm home. Go ahead and run this command." Otherwise, it'll just sit there and loop the whole time.
I like it. Okay, let's do that. So we'll, if new command. So actually, we can embed that in the new command logic, right?
Yes.
So new blocks and actually, I don't want to. So let's do extract command. If there's a new command, new block, extract command.
So new block would have to. So if new block contains check mark, I'm not sure. I'd have to tinker with it.
If blank in,
it's just a third conditional down is if you want to do like the.
What are you using for the check mark that it's seeing?
So this check mark here that you see here is not. This is the fact that it's a to-do type block in Notion.
Right. So what is Notion calling to grab that, or to execute that and give it back?
So what it's doing is we have that block. It's this block right here, and to complete it, we're changing its checked property to true, and sending it back with complete command. So we're actually updating that block's own ID to do that.
Sure.
So I think here basically we're just going to do if, because we have the command now split out into space delimited list so that we can send it to subprocess.run. So we can actually easily do like whatever. Let's make it a target, right? In command, then we just
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, this is wild.
Else pass.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think we need the else pass.
No, I don't think you do either.
Yeah.
There's already an else print sleep there, so yeah, I think that would probably do it.
Okay. Let's give this a shot. So we're gonna.
I'm wondering how it's gonna like handle that emoji encoding, because
Yeah.
I don't know if that borked it the first time when we tried to actually set the emoji for the icon of the page.
That I don't.
I don't
think
know.
that had
We're about to find out.
I don't think that had to do with the icon, or I don't think that had to do with the use of the emoji. Maybe. I think it had to do with the fact the API documentation is pretty strict about the fact that like we really don't want you making pages based off subpages. Like we'll let you do it, but it's not as comprehensive as if you make a page as the child of a quote unquote database. And if you make it as the child of a database, you can do all sorts of stuff. But if you make a page as the child of another page, it's pretty limited what you can do.
Okay.
So, all right, this is deleted.
See how this target delimiter goes.
Okay, so we've got the page. Ah,
Yeah, we have check-in.
okay. To do. LSAL, and then we'll give it the target.
Beautiful.
Huh. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? Strip out the emoji from the command.
But you know what? That's great because it absolutely picked up the.
All right, so
and
the
we
Windows
and we picked up standard error, by the way.
the Windows DOS prompt cannot interpret a target emoji. We have determined that is the case.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. So command to -1, right? Would be the slicing for that. To get that out of there. All right, neat. One more time.
Now, what I was just thinking, Taggart, you
Yeah.
could actually queue up all of your to-do blocks without putting the target on each of them, and then arm them
That's
by putting
right.
the target.
That's right.
So we can spawn an agent with a preset. Oh my god, this is more flexible than Cobalt Strike. We can arm the agent with a preset list of OPSEC checks. Who am I? Where am I? What host name is this? And then go through each of them. When we're ready to arm them, we could arm them each in sequence.
So
you
let's-
can fill this with as many commands as you want. I'm wondering what's going to happen if you put multiple to-do blocks. Where is the code response going to come back, right? But I don't know. I'm excited. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm guessing it's going to be the last block.
So that to do what you were just saying, Husky, I just realized we're gonna have to redo the logic for checking for commands a little bit. Hey, that worked.
Okay.
Bullseye.
So
Oh my god.
So what we have to do in order to make that work is, because right now it's just checking to see if the last thing is a to-do block. Instead, and this isn't hard, we just have to look for all to-do blocks that are unchecked.
Yes,
execute
precisely.
all.
And so now we're moving almost into the async portion of this, which is like, all right, now this is like a true jobs system where you can stack commands to be executed in sequence.
Feel that it's about tree fitty is the license.
That's for this too. I was surprised.
It's free. It's free, but you got to earn it.
I was surprised that they let me use the API on a free license. I thought I would have to do like the personal pro. Nope.
Yeah.
Once again,
Maybe now they're gonna take that away.
Once again, tell me you're a startup without telling me you're a startup. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, in order to do that, I don't have the time to do that tonight. But the next thing that we would do is
for sure
refactor this to do just kind of always looking for unchecked to-dos and then execute those commands in sequence. The trick would be we would have to kind of pull apart the list of blocks and reassemble them. If we wanted the commands to be appended underneath. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not
I was thinking
possible because like I can have a text block as a child. Yeah, I could actually I forgot. That's actually way easier. All I would have to do is make the return the child of this
of that main block
rather than of the page.
And then it can gotcha. Yep.
And that way it'll always be underneath of it no matter when it happens. That's actually super super cool. And then I could like move it around the page if I wanted to. It wouldn't matter. Calc.exe.
And arm it up. There we go.
I should be seeing more Z. It's so good.
We're like a couple seconds behind. Boom. Money in the bank. There it is.
I love it. It didn't give you the check mark back. Will that happen when you close it?
So, wait, but if you were to go back and uncheck that, the who am I up top there, would it run it again?
No, because it's not the last block.
Because it's not the last block. Okay.
Iterating
over the page to find all unchecked boxes. Okay, that makes sense.
So Husky, I think what just happened with calc, speaks to my thought about keying the conditional off of standard out versus standard error.
Okay, oh right, yeah, because there's no standard error, or no, there's no standard out for popping calc.exe.
Right, but so basically, I'm gonna do that. STD error. So if there is standard error, I'm going to send it.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, that.
Is your standard out
because it's
for
empty,
calc.exe is empty, but it will still work because there's no standard error.
Right.
Yes.
Okay,
this makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's try that.
Excellent. We are using an emoji in a conditional statement in Python. Like, this is some year 3000 shit.
It's awesome. You would never have thought about it until I popped on a voice.
That's right.
I come swinging the good stuff.
I forgot. Oh, I mispasted the API key. There we go. Okay, now.
Agent check-in.
Oh no, what died? List index out of range. Oh, because it wasn't the first thing.
Because it wasn't the first thing.
It was a list index error on line 64. How did that happen?
List index out of range.
To do. Oh,
did it?
Hold on, try. That's just a try except problem.
Okay.
Accept. Return. No.
Okay. Yeah. Easy.
Yeah. Yep. That works. Again, I was saying, Joe and Husky, I think you might have been getting dinner when I said this. Like, this model of if or try, return a type or return none, is my hacky way of implementing the result or option type from Rust or the maybe type from Haskell, where it's safe when it works, and then I have something that I can do a Boolean check against if it isn't.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I really miss my result type. Okay.
Well, I got good news for you. Wait, is nim has the result like return value implicitly without having to declare it, but there's no result type in nim, I guess?
Result doesn't have a monadic type that way. It does have, I think it has a nil, right?
It does have nil.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's, again,
right.
that's like an programming nerd thing.
Okay, let's change Odyssey to hostname now, so we know which computer's calling back.
I was actually like my thought was unique, big long unique ID string, but hostname is actually like genius.
That's
Yeah.
already
Odyssey is
done.
the name. Sorry, I thought Odyssey was just something you named it. My bad.
No, right here on line 26.
Nice, man.
Well, I wasn't the only person thinking it then.
Well, so like Merlin does big, long, unique like GUID string basically, so you never ever get like.
Yeah, I mean you could just do a rand int
Well,
and get a bunch of random numbers or something, but
It's
this
true.
is fine.
Yeah, and the other thing is that as I accidentally discovered, you can have multiple pages with the same name. It won't care because it has a different ID. But yeah, if we wanted to add some sort of UUID situation to it, we could certainly do so.
So every page, I'm thinking of in like almost like
Hostname /
normalization.
IP something.
Yeah, like I'm thinking in like almost normalization here. Given an instance of a page, there can be one agent has one page as an instance.
That's the
right?
plan, yeah.
One page should only it's a true one-to-one relationship.
And this is where, by the way, this is where the database starts becoming interesting
Yes,
as a topic,
there you go.
because we could register agents, and so if they die and come back up, they could get the page that they had already established.
Yep, for sure.
That's a little extra, but
That's funny because like we're making use of the resources available to us to implement the same kind of design that like Empire does with a database that keeps track of the agents.
On freaking
But we're just
Notion.
doing it in on Notion.
I mean, it speaks to the power of the tool, honestly.
I know. I'm blown away, honestly.
Or
And that's what
kind
I'm
of
saying.
the wonky security of it though too. I mean,
Yeah.
Non-type
But I was thinking then we start to talk about putting code into code blocks in the modules, which could be somewhere else in the notebook. And then like your code from the code block in the module can be pulled into the agent at runtime. Right? So
Yes.
it's like a module in Empire or something like that.
This is super hacky. I don't like how I've written this. I want to rewrite this, but for now it'll work. Except I'm getting yelled at for something. Import OS.
it's none-type object. Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about something else?
Maximum call stack size exceeded. Shut up, man. That's not a problem.
Maximum call stack size exceeded
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
in Python?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Excuse me?
That's not an error. That's the diff. It doesn't like the 4 deep conditional and actually 5 deep. And you know what? I don't either. But
I mean, it's an if check. It's not like you're nesting for loops or anything.
yeah,
I'm sure some of that could be cleaned up if you use requests.
Wait, Sar,
instead
how
of-
is it? Unless you're memeing, Sar, how is that an infinite recursion? I didn't catch. If we're
He's
caught in a
just
loop
memeing.
somewhere, okay, all right. I was like, this does not seem like an infinite recursion situation.
okay.
We are armed.
Local variable command reference before assignment. How did I do that?
Oh,
Because you typed in if command.
Oh, you're right. That's how.
Yep. If command equal. Yep. There you go.
Oh, no. I need to... The split here. Here we go. If command...
Chat. The icon for the agent pages absolutely must be the spy guy with the sunglasses, right? Like, I mean, That's the only option that
But
I see.
you could go full Armitage and have like we have a $sign for regular user, but once it detects that it's root, get the
All right,
hashtag.
now we're talking. Hold on, let me check the icons. So we definitely have a $sign for money.
That's actually how I do my pen test room stuff. Once I have root, I'll put the hashtag.
Oh no, totally. The hash key. Yeah, that's the in Notion you can do the hash key emoji for the icon.
All right. But yes, yes, Joe, this computer's name's Odyssey, and its external storage is named Aquarius, because I'm that kind of a dork. Okay. Let me just do one more check here. So we're assigning command to extract, which pulls out the string from that crazy JSON. That's what that's all about. And then returns none if we can't get there. And then do args equals command.split, and this should be args. Yes, good. Okay, great. Can't wait to find out what problem I've introduced with this run. SAL.
Target.
There it is.
Hey. Beautiful.
Now let's try that calc.exe again.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get that checked. That's how we do that.
Haha.
All right.
Oh my god, we are in a new era, boys.
SD,
We are in a new era.
Commit.
Oh my god, I love this so much. This is the most fun I've had on like a new project in a long time.
I know, it's pretty fun, and I've built 3 new projects this week.
Joe, you want to plug them in chat? They're good.
Dork Dump is pretty cool.
Tell us about Dork Dump.
Dork Dump is a Python Google Dorker, but it goes out and scrapes a website or a domain's files that it might have uploaded to the internet, so or up to their website. So if they've got financial documents or PDFs or something, it'll go out and grab those. That's probably the coolest one I did this week.
Very cool. You did that, I haven't taken a look at the source for that one, and you did that pretty much just using was there a Python library for doing Google searches? Did you implement that yourself?
Yeah, there's a Google search is what it's called. Here, I'll paste it in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt already did it.
Yep. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you can play with it real quick if you want. I mean, elsfoo.com. I mean, that's an eLearn security domain they use in their courses, so it's safe to check out if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Just git clone it, and you have to do pip. You have to run pip -r requirements. It does have the Google search. If you haven't used it before,
I had actually never seen that library before I checked the code out, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
How did I not have beautiful soup? Doesn't matter.
You've probably done it in poetry.
That's right.
And because I have beautiful soup in every poetry shell that I've ever spawned in the last 3 weeks. But
the project doesn't actually use beautiful soup. It's just in the requirements folder or in the requirements document.
Look at that pretty ASCII art.
I know, and it changes too.
You said it changes colors, right?
Yeah, it's
awesome.
It's random.
Awesome.
I went all out on this stuff. I really dorked out.
Are you using
Oh my god.
Are you using Rich? Or have you seen Rich?
No. Are you talking about for the colors or what?
Yeah, hold on a second. Python Rich.
No, I'm not using Rich.
Yeah, this is a cool. I haven't had a reason to use it yet. But it is nifty. The stuff you can do with styling. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember looking at it and it was just
There's a lot.
Too much for my brain.
I remember
That's
seeing
very cool though.
I remember seeing both Bite Bleeder and MC Oh My get all about this for a while. But yeah, this is cool. All right.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Google does have some built-in defense, so it throws like it'll throw a 429 error on occasion, which is like a rate limit.
This
And,
is super nice.
You end up having to wait like 30 minutes.
Go ahead, Joe. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say the only way around it is just like a VPN. So I'll throw Mozilla on or something. But
there was a tool I was using forever. It's archived now, called Googler, which was a CLI tool to run Google searches. And it gave you greppable output from Google.
Cool.
Oh, neat.
Super handy for this similar sort of thing. You still had to do the dorking manually and whatever.
Sure.
But if you wanted to, when I started using it was right at the beginning of the pandemic, and to demonstrate how easy it was to find people's like public Zoom links. It was really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
You can do the same thing with my tool for the most part. I mean, that's so when you put in the domain, really, it's just the dork is what in URL or site, or I think it's site. So you could change that inside of the code. Instead of using site, I mean, you could really replace it with anything you want.
Exactly.
So
yeah. And plus, you have the ability to do regular expression filtering and stuff right in here, since it's Python. Awesome. Well,
Sweet, man.
friends, I think we're gonna call it a night. We have successfully pushed, a working C2 in Notion. Hopefully, this doesn't get us in too much trouble with them, and it doesn't remove the API from the free tier.
I mean,
as long as we don't use my paid account, I think we're okay.
They seemed real unconcerned. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna be okay.
For educational purposes only.
Yes.
I'm using that in my next pen test.
I'm telling you, Joe, you will have your documentation and your C2 in literally the same area, and you'll never want to go back. So we're gonna bring that into reality. We're gonna make that that dream a reality.
It's so goofy.
It's so silly. I love it. All right. Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So much fun.
You're quite welcome. I don't see anybody streaming right now, so I think we're just going to say goodnight, but we'll be back tomorrow putting on some finishing touches on this and maybe translating into a compiled language to see if we can create a real agent. So join us tomorrow night, and that's it. Friends, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and happy hacking. We'll see ya.
Good night.